name's Richard Evans. If you don't recognise that name, you probably know that I'm Richard EIS. And I run the Erasure Information Service for Vince and Andy. Tonight isn't a concert in the traditional sense, so I think it's important to remind you of that before we start. But what it is it's designed to be a celebration of a very special partnership between two very special people. When we decided to do these shows, we decided that there was three things that we needed to have as the ingredients. We wanted those shows to be informal, so we could see you. We wanted those shows to be intimate, so we could see you. Informal, so that they would be easy to watch. And we wanted them to be fun. And hopefully we will deliver all those things for you tonight. The three things that we promised on the poster are music, conversation, and nonsense. And we'll be doing a little bit of each of those over the course of the evening. The first section of the show is conversation, and to do that, I need some people to talk to. So I'd like to put your hands together for Vince, Clarke, and Andy Bell. So I've been lucky enough to interview Erasure before. Sometimes that's been before I worked with them, and sometimes it's been after I've worked with them. But something I have learned about Vince, Clarke and Andy Bell is that they don't remember everything. Sometimes they remember nothing at all. So for this part of the evening, the conversation part, I thought it would be interesting if I presented them with a few snapshots from their career. In the forms of little tiny videos, which I would hope would jog their memories. So that's what we're going to do, hopefully. Here's the first video. Heard that before. It's called Who Needs Love Like That. It was Erasure's first ever single back in September 1985. So in a way, it has just celebrated its 40th anniversary. And with the first single comes the first video. And for Andy, the first video you ever did.
It is the first video we ever did. And as you can tell, we weren't very good at doing drag at that time. Even though we thought we were really pretty, it was kind of no, we weren't. But and then we were surprised that it didn't get shown on MTV, and it was kind of pre-RuPaul's Drag Race, so long time ago. And we didn't know about contouring or anything then, you know, or double pairs of tights wearing and all those secrets. So, yeah.
And Vince, for you, it wasn't your first video or your first single. You had quite a lot of success already at that point. But then, Who Needs Love Like That wasn't a hit.
No, it was. I mean, we were so frigging sure that it would be like
It should have been a
massive hit, you know.
It should have been a hit.
But then it's the same really in everything that Andy and I do. It's because you feel, you know, you wouldn't release anything that was rubbish, right? And so in our minds, it's always, you do something that's, you think, or Andy and I think that it's quite good. And sometimes people like it, and sometimes people don't. which is that's how it is. And then you carry on and you go, well, I'll make something better and different in the future. So.
I think they weren't used to Vince being commercial, and that's what it came down to, really. And I kind of felt in the beginning a bit of an Alison Moyet fake. Do you know what I mean? So it took a while to develop my own character. So maybe that's why it wasn't ready, because I wasn't ready either. So I don't know.
But you did re-release it, and it was a hit the second time. Was that vindication for you?
Well, I guess, I still quite like it, you know. I mean, I try and persuade Andy to do it every time that we do a tour, but he doesn't want to do it.
That's not true.
And another thing about Who Needs Love Like That is it's actually a song that was written before you knew each other.
Yeah, I had like, you know, a few songs already prepared because I was doing the assembly thing, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then the producer and I was working with at the time, a guy called Mark Ellis, Flood, said, you know what, you ought to really get someone that's permanent and someone that's full-time. And so that's when we did the interviews and I got to meet Andy.
I said, when we're in the studio, I said to Vince, oh, have you got any lyrics at all? You know, and he goes like, oh, here. And so it's a great big pile, like, of this, like, all these words that he had written already. So we were kind of going through them all. But yeah, he had loads of songs and probably sold about 2 million records before I even came along. So, you know.
We were very lucky.
I'm going to go to another video. You're going to like this one, Vince.
Everybody, it's a magical potion. Let's get down. The prince is in town, and the prince is rock, and it's a well-known fact. When I get up on the mountain, when I talk a lot of crap, clap your hands, stamp your feet. Everybody in the house, everybody in the street. Boogie out the rock to the beat, don't stop, get down. Everybody to the head of their heart.
So let me introduce MC Vince Clarke, performing his one and to my knowledge only rap performance. But Vince obviously doesn't remember this at all.
I do, I know it. Family Fantastic.
Does that jog your memory?
No. I'm looking at those stills and thinking, well, that's not a very good video, is it?
So Family Fantastic was a project that Vince put together in 2000, and he was working with a guy called Phil Kresick, who used to be in a band called Big Fun. And it was kind of a sort of retrospective, groovy funk thing. You made 2 albums.
Did we?
You did.
I mean, seriously, man. I mean, you know, my memory is completely. I'm looking at this stuff going, well, that's not too bad. But I sort of remember that whole episode. I think we did it for 2 years or something.
He did 2 albums, one called Nice in 2000, and one called Wonderful in 2008.
Yeah, brilliant titles, right?
And you were also on the soundtrack of the Olsen twins' Winning London.
I bet you don't know who the Olsen twins are. They were an American duo that did a TV show in the States.
For Vince's sake, I'm going to move on.
You all know each other, don't you? You tell the story. Sure. Well, probably a lot of fans of Phantasmagorical know that Vince was once in it, but going back about 4 years ago. Right. He's proud of the lads. Are they sort of moving in the right direction as far as you're concerned? Not sounding very good. Yeah.
So that was a little clip of Vince on some children's TV show, I don't know which one, maybe the Oxford Road Show, something like that, back in 1985. So Vince and Andy were then promoting their first single. At the same time, Depeche Mode were promoting a single called It's Called a Heart. And they were both on the same show, and the show thought it would be funny and interesting to put them together. But the reason that I put that up, because I wanted to talk to Vince about how difficult it is to leave your past behind. Because even today, it's like people can't drop the old stuff in favour of the new stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, it's difficult because, like I said earlier, you know, Andy and I are always looking forward. So you don't really think about you don't certainly rest on your own laurels, not because we're conscientious, but just because it's not interesting, particularly. So people ask me about Depeche Mode and I go, yeah, you know, they're the really good first album. Other than that, you know, I mean, you know, they went the direction that they went, and I and Andy went the direction that we went, and you know, I've not regretted. I've never ever had any regrets about the musical direction I've taken, ever.
So that, you probably already know, was from the Phantasmagorical Entertainment Tour, and it was recorded in 1992. One of the reasons I've included it tonight is because it was filmed in Manchester. So probably lots of you were there at the Manchester Apollo in August 1992. So it was released as a DVD, The Tank, the Swan and the Balloon, well, VHS video, actually. So I wanted to talk to you guys. It's one of your iconic tours. Andy, what are your memories of that?
Well, I just remember being here and we kind of overtook the Britannia Hotel, didn't we? Because we were living there for about a month and doing the show and the rehearsals and stuff. And we kind of gave them hell. You know, I'm sorry to say, but we made them take down all the curtains, wash them all, wash all the beds, spreads and everything like that. And then we were ordering drinks all through the night. We were up all hours with the dancers and playing to hell for these poor people. So I'd like to apologise now to the staff at the Britannia Hotel after all these years. But no, it was a fantastic experience though, really amazing. And I think we kind of set the bar a bit too high for us, like really early on.
What strikes me about watching that is it must have been so incredibly complicated to be performing.
No, it really was. I mean, we had like, you know, we had two dressers, I think they're called, or two wardrobe people. So because there were quick changes, and I think we got in like 4 or 5 costumes each night, and then in the interval we did bingo. Does anyone remember that? And then people in bingo started cheating. Yeah. They would say, "I won," and they would come to the front and you go.
It was the same girl every night.
Yeah. But no, it was a very special tour. It took a long time to get together, I think, as I recall.
Yes, it was. I mean, I can't believe the amount of planning that we did for that tour. That was incredible. That was probably took about a year and a half, even before the tour began, to get it together. Which is probably why we haven't done it since, because it's like...
But our cunning plan was, we thought, okay, the idea would be that we wouldn't play loads of cities in one tour. We'd be in one place or next place in these big cities and do multiple nights. But it actually turned out much more work than we intended.
Yeah, we tried to do a Kate Bush, but we moved, didn't we?
Another video.
If you change your mind.
Now I kind of know that I'm walking into the fire a little bit here because I know that Vince and Andy sort of distanced themselves from this particular release a little bit. But it was a #1 single for Erasure back in 1992. So it felt like it deserved a mention tonight. It was also, in case you're interested, a #1 in Austria, Denmark, Finland, Greece, Ireland and Sweden. And it was the start of the Abba revival. Vince, how do you feel about being the start of the Abba revival?
Well, you know, it was Andy's idea in the first place. The idea originally was for us to do an album of ABBA songs, because Andy was a huge fan. Me, not so much, probably. Although I do appreciate what they do and did. And then we reverted to an EP. And actually, I was in Manchester when I got the call from the record company to say, "Oh, by the way, it's #1."
By the way.
By the way, I mean, I was like, well, you know, but I was so hungover.
Well, we recorded the whole thing in Holland, didn't we? You were staying in Holland. We were having a blast, me and Vince. So we were just like doing this EP, you know. That was before the tour, wasn't it? Yeah, because this tour came on the back of the EP, and yeah, so we were having a great time, and you know, this EP came out, and all of a sudden it was all over the place. So we thought, like, oh, we better do a video EP as well, which nobody had done before. So we did 4 of those in a row, and we kind of, I mean, I was an ABBA fanatic. You know, I actually ABBA'd myself out, if that's a verb or whatever, but yeah, I got so sick of it in the end, you know, even like going on TV programs, it was the only thing they ever asked. If you go, do you want to speak about this song, and this song, and this song, all about ABBA? And I was just like, oh, please, let me out, you know. No, retrospectively, I really love it. I'm glad we did the project, but he advised Blancmange to do The Day Before You Came.
You know, he's saying all this stuff, but he's seen the ABBA, the
avatars.
3 times.
3 times I've seen them. And yes, the lips do go out of sync.
So I suspect that I'm not the only person in this room this evening who absolutely loves that video. So tell us a bit about it. Did you need much persuading, Vince?
No, I did.
Did you need much?
But my problem always was lyrics, because if you look at the lip sync, it's completely out. So I'm looking at the sheet the director had in front of us to try and work out what, exactly. Yeah. He knew the lyrics off by heart, but I didn't.
No one was looking at your lips.
No.
May I suggest that you don't?
It's funny though, because when you look closely, I even notice on, you know, Marilyn Monroe, Some Like It Hot, when she's singing Diamonds Are Our Best Friends, her lips get screwed up as well when she's singing, so it happens to the best of people. Yeah.
Did either of you receive any sort of word from ABBA themselves about how thrilled they were?
We haven't, not yet. But I heard a little dicky bird that said, Frida does live round the corner somewhere. So take it as you cryptically as you like.
But you know what happened was, I mean, I don't know if you remember this, but because there was a rap in the middle of the song.
Yes.
And then we had to, because the way that publishing works is very boring, blah, blah, blah. But the way it works is that you have to get permission to change the lyric.
Clearance.
Yeah. You have to get clearance. And they gave us clearance straight away.
Yeah.
And they said, okay, yeah, we like this.
Yeah, we can't even tell what Karen was saying anyway, you know, on the song. So God knows how they translated it into Swedish. It's Jamaican patois, I think.
So the mince pies are on the shelves in the supermarkets. So it felt like it wasn't too early to talk about Christmas. So from the Snow Globe album in 2013, that was Gaudete. You were immortalised as puppets for this project. Did anyone sculpt you?
I can't remember but it was people who Michael knew, wasn't it?
What it was it?
Yeah.
It was a deal.
Oh, it was a deal, was it?
Yeah, because the guys that were doing the animation, puppetry, basically were out of work. So they said, we'll do this for you for half price. And because I'm from Basildon, he's from Peterborough, I went, yeah. Come on, we'll go for that.
Anything.
Yeah. But I love that track.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
It was only decided that religious songs wouldn't get played that year on the radio, so.
Yeah.
What are your favourite Christmas songs?
Religious songs.
Any Christmas songs?
Oh, Christmas songs. Well, we did the whole album of stuff, and so my perspective on those songs has changed since I've had to learn how to program them and work on them and try and get new versions and stuff. Probably the B-side of Stop, which was.
She won't be home. She won't be home.
No, the traditional wise was
God Rest You Merry Gentlemen.
Oh, God Rest You Merry Gentlemen, yeah.
I love that song.
Oh. See, that's religious as well, but yeah.
Favourite Christmas song, Andy?
Oh, my favourite Christmas song, there's a Star Wars Christmas album, which I like when R2-D2 and the one that goes, that one, they're talking about what they would like for Christmas on their lists, and it's really sweet.
One to look up on YouTube, I think. Not that anybody asked, but Fingers and Thumbs is probably my favourite Erasure song. But that's not why I played the video. Vince, over to you.
He loves it.
Okay, what was going on that Top of the Pops appearance?
No, I think because Andy and I had done drag in Ibiza. Yeah, a couple of times. And it was just, it was just fun. It was, and also the BBC were a little bit outraged by it. So obviously, you're a kid, you go, just, come on, And so that's why we did it. I mean, we did one. Do you remember the one with the wedding dress?
That was Take a Chance on Me as well, on Top of the Pops live. Yeah. But as well, he looks good though, doesn't he? So. Doesn't matter what you wear.
Any plans to do any more drag work, Vince?
Well, I only do on the weekends now. Strictly, and it's between me and myself, my cat, Smudge.
Smudge.
Vince's project between Depeche Mode and between Yazoo and Erasure, and they were performing at the Short Circuit Festival, which was Mute Records' own festival at the Roundhouse. I was going to say a few years ago, it was probably quite a lot of years ago now. And that was Andy Bell on backing vocals.
But that was #1 as well, wasn't it? It Never Happens to Me, wasn't it? It was. Oh, #2. Oh, it's the curse of the #2s with us.
So I wanted to play that because it was interesting to see Andy doing backing vocals for someone else. Do you remember anything about doing that?
I remember that night, there was loads of different music artists, wasn't it, yeah? And Fergal was there. Was Alison there? Yeah, Alison was there. Nick Cave, was he there? I can't remember.
Probably. I remember there was a band on before you, that terrified everyone. Was it the Cardiacs?
I don't know.
It's like they were highly experimental anyway.
Yeah.
This is like Laughs of the Summer Wine.
3 old blokes nattering away. The other reason I wanted to bring that up is because the Short Circuit Festival was a celebration of Mute Records, and I always kind of want to shout out Mute Records because they've been such an important part of Vince's entire career, and Erasure's entire career as well. So, quick thoughts on Mute Records and your relationship with them?
Well, you know, I've been with Mute Records since I was 19, so you know, there are a lot of bands that I know, and people I know, and friends of mine that were signed to bigger labels, and it just didn't last. But Daniel's been incredibly supportive of us, and hopefully it's reciprocal. And also, you know, I mean, you know, when I first met Daniel, he was. We thought he was a bit weird, but the records he'd released was so frigging cool. You know, we're talking Phantasmagorical, The Normal, Silicon Teens, all that stuff. It was so cool. And when he said to us, well, you know, are you interested in making a single? I mean, we just leapt at it. We went, oh yes. Yes, please. Anything you want to add?
No, you know, I was the new boy when I met Vince, and you know, I don't play synths, and it kind of took a long time to get to know the people, and the record company changed quite a bit, you know, got smaller and smaller. So, yeah, my relationship's a bit different. But yeah, I have total respect for Mute, I really do. Yeah.
A little respect.
Yeah.
So, in an evening of conversation and music and nonsense, it's time for some music. So I'm going to send Vince and Andy off to get themselves ready for a performance. While they're sorting themselves out, I just wanted to mention that a little bit later in the evening we're doing an audience Q&A session, and to submit a question you need to scan this barcode, this QR code. There's also QR codes on some posters around the room as well, so if you would like to ask a question then please do that. Don't ask a question about the new album, and don't ask a question about the new tour, because we'll cover those anyway. And before I introduce Erasure, I wanted to remind you that because this is kind of a different sort of a performance, then it doesn't necessarily have the power and bells and whistles of a full concert. So I just wanted to sort of, you know, manage your expectations.